Hello everybody, welcome to the Wonky Angle, where I talk about electronic music, both new and old. And today I'm talking about the EP Trilogy from Pretty Lights. Making up a changing mind, spilling over every side, and glowing in the darkest night. I was thinking of doing an odds and ends video for this guy like the ones I did for Aphex Twin and Boards of Canada, but decided against it, as outside of his EPs, I really don't have that many other opinions on his tracks. I Know the Truth probably has the guy's best and most intense dubstep breakdowns. We Must Go On is a catchy and feel-good sort of track in the Taking Up Your Precious Time style that holds up surprisingly well. Oh yeah, and he has a pretty kick-ass remix of Serious by the Alan Parsons Project that I wish he didn't just credit as the Chicago Bulls theme, but that's basically all I have to say on this guy's deep cuts. So instead of doing the odds and ends video straight, this video is focusing on the trilogy of EPs he released throughout 2010. I believe if you're going to examine the Pretty Lights discography, you need to examine these EPs, as they are just an important part of his career as his albums. I'll get right into it, and start with Making Up a Changing Mind. Got 6 tracks, there's some nice variety, it's really solid, and holds up really well. Many of these I remembered so well I didn't have to come back to them in the first place, but I did anyway, because why not? Still Rockin', still rocks. One of the guy's most fast-paced and energetic songs, and it's a ton of fun. I Can See It In Your Face, I was admittedly worried would not hold up, given that I didn't really react to it when I saw it live, and this lack of reaction I think was the moment at which I decided to leave said concert early. But no, this re-listen showed it to be just as spot-on dance song as it was back in the day. I don't recommend listening to it a lot in a short period of time, but then again that goes for basically anything by Pretty Lights. Future Blind is just as dark and emotional, but still highly danceable as I remember. And Total Fascination is kind of like the alternate version of Sunday School, which is surprisingly a lot more fun to listen to. Pretty fitting he often combines them when playing live. That being said, there are 2 tracks I can never remember the tune to for the life of me, and that's Understand Me Now and Easy Way Out. I can remember little parts of these tracks directly after listening to them, but they don't stick around for long. Which is a shame, because otherwise Understand Me Now is one of the guy's best down-tempo style tracks. It's really a beautiful track and a great listening experience, just never nailed down the hook. And Easy Way Out just never really stuck with me as a standout. It's fine, but nothing special. All that said, 5 out of 6 tracks completely nailed, and one that's still pretty decent makes for a damn good EP. And I give it my recommendation for sure. Unfortunately, tracks that are unmemorable but make for nice interesting listening experiences is a running theme on the second EP in the trilogy, Spilling Over Every Side. Again, I can remember little parts of basically every track, but the only track that I can remember without any effort is the first one, High School Art Class. And let me take a second to gush over this particular track because it's seriously one of the best tracks the guy's ever done. Kinda like a mix of Hot Like Sauce and More Important Than Michael Jordan. A parade of several hooks, some of which are sampled and some are synth heavy, and every single one is nailed on the head. If you ever need a track that sums up the entire appeal of Pretty Lights in general, this would be it. It combines basically every likable quality of his style into one fairly easy to digest 9-minute extravaganza. The EP is worth your time for this track alone. I just really wish I could say the same about any of the other tracks on here. There's some nice moments here and there, and it's certainly an interesting listen, but very little of it leaves a strong impression. For instance, Pretty Lights often combines the track Hot Like Dimes and A Million Tomorrows together in his live sets, including the one I saw, and they mesh together almost too well. They're in the same key and in the same tempo. When they're mashed up, I can't even tell the difference between the two, but hearing them separately helps. Hot Like Dimes is much more intense and gritty and synth-focused, and has that Sweetest Dreams hook. Dream the sweetest dreams! And A Million Tomorrows is more down-tempo and quite frankly the more enjoyable and interesting of the two. The organic instrumentation as well as the occasional drum and bass moments make it for a more engaging listening experience, I think. Both try to do the same kind of thing that High School Art Class did, only with not of as impressive results. But they're both pretty fun tracks. The other tracks that also tried that parade of cool moments formula again, but just don't stick in my head enough for me to give it the full recommendation. Let the World Hurry By is really cool to listen to. There's a lot of great moments in it, like those flutes near the end, but you can't really nail down any hooks. Much like Understand Me Now. Well, I think he managed to get me to remember that one sample that says the title right at the beginning, and maybe also the piano sample that runs throughout the track, but that's about it. Even that piano one's kind of pushing it. But Look Both Ways doesn't even have that honor. I mean, again, it's an enjoyable experience and all, and I can come back to it and think, oh yeah, I remember this one. This is a really good one. Whoa, those are some nice horns and vibraphones, but then forget it a few seconds into Forever Lost. This track, by the way, is also the most concise of all the songs on here. Everything else is around 7 minutes or longer. But even this one juggles like 4 hooks or something, and its shorter length becomes a mark against it, as it probably would have been better had it been given more time to develop or stick with you. Like, again, I want to like this EP more, as it's a fun, interesting experience while I'm listening to it. And there isn't any tracks on here that I would even consider mediocre. They're all great, but I wish more of these would stick around in my head longer than most of Making Up a Changing Mind did. I still recommend it regardless. It's a nice one to sit up and listen and soak up everything that's going on. And it's still got high school art class, so yeah, not great, but definitely worth your time. Then we get to the third and final volume in the trilogy, which probably has the best title and album cover, but unfortunately the least enjoyable content, Glowing in the Darkest Night. This is easily my least favorite of the trilogy, despite a handful of solid moments. Still Night is a great track that nails multiple hooks and makes me forget I don't like this EP as much as the other two. Actually a pretty big grower. What makes a motherfucker so damn fresh? I really like the guitar on Shining Bright Despite the Plight, and Gazing at the Glare has that one, Who Am I? Hook. That's pretty awesome. The rest is still pretty enjoyable, but unfortunately doesn't leave that strong an impression. Out of Time tries to be like another Future Blind, but comes up short. Not to mention is near indistinguishable from Drift Away, which is more recognizable thanks to the sample it says the title, but I'm not sure is actually the better track. Gold Coast Hustle is at least memorable thanks to its weirdly clean guitar loops, but isn't that interesting otherwise? And Looking for Love But Not So Sure is entirely forgettable outside of that one hook that says the title. And of course there's also So Much in the Dark, which again tries the same strategy as the majority of Spilling Over Every Side, but comes up short in basically every way. I will give this EP credit though for its darker feel that sets it apart from the other two EPs. It's got a nice brooding atmosphere that I never really gave it credit for previously. It gets points for being much better than I remembered, but is still probably the least enjoyable of the EPs. Again, not the kind of thing that stands up well to repeat listens, but still pretty solid. So, as for how I feel on the trilogy as a whole, honestly, I wholeheartedly recommend the trilogy in its entirety. You got the catchy and fun one first, you got the intensive listening one second, and the atmospheric one third. The whole series shows off a pretty cool and spacey feel that I think plays to a lot of Pretty Light's strengths. A sound which would go on to be perfected 3 years later, but that's for the next video. I may not love every second of it, and I wish more of it was catchier, but regardless, this entire trilogy is worth checking out. So for Making Up a Changing Mind, I'm overall feeling an 8.3 out of 10. For Spilling Over Every Side, I'm feeling a 7.5 out of 10, and for Glowing in the Darkest Night, 7.3 out of 10. But of course, this is just my opinion. You can feel free to disagree with it, but I'd like to hear your thoughts, so leave comments in the comment thing down there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all for today. See you next time.